I swear by the Almighty Allah
I swear by the Almighty Allah
that the evidence I shall give to this commission
that the evidence I shall give to this commission
shall be the truth,
the whole truth,
and nothing
but
the truth.
the truth.
So help me Allah.
So help me Allah.
Thank you. You can wait for the instruction.
Could you kindly state your names to the commission?
Sorry, ma, I can't hear you.
Can you state your names, please?
Yeah.
Your names.
Yeah. My name is Abdoulie Tambedou.
Where do you live?
I live at Sanjabasule Joe.
You're the managing director, Gambia Ports Authority.
That's right, ma.
How long have you been managing director?
My first stint as managing director, Gambia Ports Authority, was between April 2011 and August 2012. Then from March 2017 to date.
Okay. Would you like to take a seat, please?
Thank you.
Can you repeat the dates, please, when during the period you were managing director of Ports Authority?
My first stint was April 2011 up to August 2012. Then March 2017 up till date.
Did you hold any other positions at GPA?
Yes, I first joined the Gambia Ports Authority in 1989 as an accounts clerk and rose through the ranks after my training to accountant, senior finance manager, director of finance, and then managing director in 2011.
Can you tell us the period when you were director of finance?
I was director of finance between 2004 up till 2011 as managing director.
Your deputy, Mr. Usman Jobati, had given evidence before this commission concerning various matters. And yes, one of the pending issues relates to youth development enterprise. According to his evidence, the ports claims that youth development enterprise under the previous executive owes the port charges.
Yes, that's right.
Which were unpaid.
Yes.
Do you have any further information to give this commission on that issue?
Yes, ma. I can confirm that we used to have vessels coming as consignees in the name of youth development enterprises. In those days, headed by one Baba Job. And we have been invoicing them until at one time, due to some legal actions between them and the Gambia government, the company ceased operations.
Do you have any documentation in relation to the invoicing?
Yes, I have copies of invoices and 2 letters that we wrote to the High Court after the dissolution of the youth development enterprises, in which we claimed the debt owed to the Gambia Ports Authority.
Okay. Can we have the documentation, please? What is the connection between Youth Development Enterprises and the ex-president?
Yes, the connection between the Youth Development Enterprises and the ex-president was that the letters that used to come, we have letters that are called free out letters that the shipping agencies would write to confirm who are the consignees of each of the vessels before they are allowed to berth. So those letters would normally mention Youth Development Enterprises, care of Baba Job, President Yahya Jammeh's office, State House, Banjul, the Gambia.
Okay. Let's have the documents. Do you have the documents from the shipping agencies?
No. Unfortunately, due to the time that it has taken since the dissolution of the company, you will recall that there was a court case in which the Youth Development Enterprise and Baba Job were taken to court by the former government, and the Gambia Ports Authority acted as witnesses in those cases. So all the records relating to YDE were submitted to the courts.
It was a criminal case?
Yes, it was a criminal case.
So you're saying the records should be with the courts?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. What is the total you are claiming with regard to Youth Development Enterprise invoices?
It is $16 million.
Do you have a summary?
The summary was submitted in the courts. We have the total that we are claiming here, mentioned in the last letters, $16,001,450, 64 bottles.
And these invoices you're submitting now are the invoices that support that claim?
Yes, that's correct.
Mr. Chairman, may I apply for these documents to be admitted in support of Port's claim against the former president for YDE invoices that are unpaid?
letters from Managing Director, Gambia Ports Authority, to Principal Registrar of the High Court, dated respectively 17th July 2006 and 19th December 2006, in respect of monies due to Gambia Ports Authority by Youth Development Enterprise, plus invoices in a bundle, admitted marked SC13.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Tambedou, do you have any other claims of losses incurred by GPA as a result of the interference from, well, as a result of directives from the former president?
Yes, ma'am, we do.
Okay, let's move on to the next claim you have.
Yes. We have a claim for the directive of us requesting the giving of our ferry Barajali, whose value as at the time of the request was $16,500,000 as at June 2007.
What do you mean by your ferry? Can you explain what this is all about?
Yes. During the construction of the Mandinari depot, a private operator then, GAM Petroleum, requested from Gambia Ports Authority the delivery of an old ferry. However, because we intended to continue the operations of the ferry, we did not agree to the delivery of the ferry.
What do you mean by delivery of the ferry?
The delivery of the ferry meant us giving our ferry to GAM Petroleum to use it, to convert it into other operational use at their end.
What did they need it for? Did they explain?
They converted the ferry into a workboat which they used for during the construction of their terminal, the Mandinari depot.
So they asked for the ferry?
Yes, they requested for the ferry, but we did not agree to the giving of the ferry. So there was this government directive requesting us to give them the ferry, which we accordingly did afterwards.
By government directive, where was the directive from?
The directive was from the President's office. A letter came from the Secretary General, and two letters came from GAM Petroleum themselves requesting for the ferry. We had a directive from the Secretary General to give the ferry. Then we wrote querying the cutting of the ferry, the conversion of the ferry into a workboat. And another letter was written by the GPA asking for compensation of the ferry also.
Let me just understand. They wanted the ferry to use as a workboat.
Yes.
You did not want to give it to them.
Yes.
At the time, what were you using the ferry for?
The ferry was being used for our provincial operations.
Where specifically?
It was the ferry Barajali is in the Central River region, in one of the crossings.
Okay, it was being used to carry people across the river.
Passengers, yes, passengers and vehicles.
Was it in use at the time?
it needed maintenance, but it was in use.
Okay.
It was like any of our other ferries.
So how long did they have the ferry for? How long did GAM Petroleum have the ferry for?
No, they took it over from us and it was never returned because it was converted into a workboat. It could never have returned as a ferry again.
I see. Did you ask for compensation?
Yes, we did.
So what happened?
The letters for compensation were ignored by GAM Petroleum.
Now I understand that GPA has shares in GAM Petroleum now. At the time that this happened, did you have shares in GAM Petroleum? At the time they wanted the ferry?
No, then we did not have shares in GAM Petroleum.
At the time you acquired shares in GAM Petroleum, the ferry issue was not taken on board?
No, they were not taken on board.
So basically that was it?
Yes, it was given and removed from our books and then letters written to query the cutting of the ferry into a workboat and asking for compensation.
Yes.
That was where it stopped. It was never returned to us.
All right. Well, tell us what documents you have to support what you've just said to the Commission. Who wrote the letters to you on behalf of GAM Petroleum?
One of the letters were written by, one of them was written by Mohammed Basi.
Okay.
And the second one was signed by Fadi Magezi.
I see. You have them?
Yes, I do.
Okay. All right, put them together.
Here are the two letters. The one signed by Mohammed Basi is dated 11th April 2007, and the second signed by Fadi was dated, there is no name here in the second letter. However, it was signed for GAM Petroleum Storage Facility Company Limited and dated 19th April 2007. And I also have a letter written by the Managing Director, Gambia Ports Authority.
Who was the Managing Director at the time?
It was Mohamed Lamin Jiba, dated January 9th, 2008. That was a letter of complaint on the cutting of the ferry. Okay. Then a final letter written by GPA, again dated 9th March 2009, asking for compensation for the Barajali ferry.
How much are you claiming for the ferry?
The valuation we put now is $16,500,000.
What was the date at which you handed over the ferry to them?
In June 2007.
Okay, let's have the documents. All the documents?
Yes.
Including the letters?
Yes.
What about the letter from the Office of the President?
The letter from the Office President, we searched for it We know the author, and we have been liaising with the Office of the President to provide us the copy of the letter.
Who was the author of the letter?
The author was one Ibrahim Jeti Kujabi, one of the former employees of the Gambia Ports Authority.
What do you mean, former employees? It was from the Office of the President, you said?
Yes.
Or he was working at the Office of the President?
Yes, he is an ex-employee of the Gambia Ports Authority, but was appointed as Director of Press and Public Relations at the Office of the President. It was then that he signed the letter on behalf of the Secretary General, giving the Gambia Ports Authority the directive to hand over the ferry, Barajale. We have asked for it at the President's office, and the one Keba Drame informed me that all the files that contained the directives are currently with the Commission. Okay. However, he would endeavor to search it for me.
All right. Okay. Mr. Chairman, may I apply to have documents in support of GPA's claim for the Barajali ferry admitted? Why did you not sue GAM Petroleum? Is it because you became shareholders or what? Why did you not pursue it? You did not pursue it any further?
No, the managing director, the then managing director, Mr. Jiba,
did not pursue it?
Did not pursue it. Maybe he can.
And when you became managing director, why did you not pursue it?
Maybe because my predecessor never pursued it, and it wasn't part of the things handed over to me for follow-up during my handing over and taking over from Mohamed Lamin Jiba.